yet again. I really need a tripod, but this will do for now. It's a little windy, but I'm trying to think where I last left off. I went into Bozeman, I did my grocery shopping, I got coffee at a coffee roaster that I really like, and breakfast. I hung out at a park for a while where I found an outlet where I was able to recharge my battery a little bit, like from 30% to 55%, which was cool. And met up with a friend for lunch at a brewery, and then decided to head up into the mountains to look for a place to camp for the night. And I found this amazing spot. This is Fairy Lake Campground in Montana, and it was not particularly easy to get to. I had to use 4Low for the first time with the camper on, which was pretty fun. Everything went well. I should find some wood to knock on probably, because I still have to get back down. But it is wild to me that this is a developed campground. Like, the view is incredible, and there are like toilets, like vault toilets, but still toilets. And the campground is free also, which is wild. I think it's like 4:30. It's kind of overcast today, which is honestly not a bummer because it was really hot yesterday and the clouds are making it a little bit less hot. But yeah, apparently there is a nice little hike to actual Fairy Lake. I don't know if I'll do it today while it's overcast, or maybe I'll try to do it in the morning after coffee when the light's a little bit better. I think I'll probably just lay low tonight and make some dinner. Oh, I'm gonna go to Livingston tomorrow. I found out about a cool event there tomorrow. I guess my friend told me they're re-releasing Monkey Wrench Gang by Edward Abbey, and they're having like a reading at this little bookstore, and it sounds like it's a really cool town. So that's my plan tomorrow. And hopefully I can find either some solar charging potential or somewhere else to plug in tomorrow, because I think it's gonna run low again tonight. But that's my update so far for week 3, and maybe I'm just having like a particularly good day despite any trials and tribulations, but I feel like I'm slowly starting to get the hang of things in a way that makes me feel like maybe this is not all for naught. We'll see how the rest of the week goes, but right now I'm feeling stoked. I'm headed out of this campsite and I'm all packed up and ready to go, but I just wanted to film a quick update. Last night it rained a lot and there was thunder and lightning, but we stayed dry and cozy and just had a slow morning. This morning made coffee, ate breakfast, walked Emmy around the camp loop, tidied up. I am tempted to stay here a whole nother day. I think I could probably position the truck in a good spot to get solar and just like hang out and chill. And we did a hike down to the actual lake last night and it was gorgeous. It really, again, made me wish that I had a paddleboard. So I might have to try to add that to the gear closet sooner than later. But yeah, really glad I did that last night. Yeah, I could leave the truck up here at the campground in full sun and go down to the lake and dip and chill, and it would be probably a pretty pleasant day. But I am also excited for this bookstore event tonight that I'm going to try to go to. And yeah, so hopefully I can find a good spot in town to recharge one way or another. And my friend was telling me how great Livingston is yesterday, so planning today and or tomorrow trying to spend a little bit of time in town and checking it out. Midday update. I found a place to park where I can have the back of the truck in the shade and the front part in the sun. I'm trying to start charge up my battery with the solar panel. It's very slow going. I made some lunch. I did a Caesar salad with some vegetarian chicken on it. It's actually really good. And it looks like there's a river dunk spot here on the Yellowstone River. It's pretty hot today, and I feel like getting in some cold water would feel really nice. But yeah, the first part of the day I just spent walking around downtown, like shopping basically. I bought a couple little things that I had needed and some that I didn't. And it's a really cute little town. I'm glad that I spent some time here. And there's an awesome outdoor store here called, I'm blanking on what it's called. I'll put it in the thing. But they gave me some great camping recommendations. So that was a win. Good morning. I feel as haggard as I look. The event that I went to last night was really nice, but it also meant that I didn't get to camp until like 9:30 p.m. I decided to just pay for a paid campsite that someone had recommended that was like 20-minute drive from town, so I didn't have to mess around with finding dispersed site in the dark. And I ended up not eating dinner until like 10. And then I like was all keyed up so I couldn't sleep, and then I also was like binge watching this show that I just like couldn't stop watching, and I watched that until almost 3 a.m. and then woke up at 8:30. So I got a little bit of sleep, but yeah, I'm grateful that this campground had a site open so close to the weekend. It was Thursday night, and it was only $20. Unfortunately, there's no power here, and my battery is at 2%. So I'm just drinking coffee and trying to figure out what to do. I had half a mind to stay here again tonight just to like make things easier. And I still may do that, but it's really noisy. Like maybe other people wouldn't be bothered by it, but the highway goes right by, and then it's like a very popular fishing site with a boat launch. Maybe it's rafting too. I don't know if everybody's fishing, but anyway, really busy with boat launch traffic, and it's like a gravel drive, and it just is super noisy. I don't like it. It's really pretty though. I don't know if you can kind of see in the background. It's Paradise Valley, I think was aptly named. Probably especially before there was a bunch of bullshit down here. So after I filmed this morning, I left the campground that I stayed at, and my plan was to go down the road to this coffee shop slash bakery and see if they would let me plug into an exterior outlet while I was there. And it actually worked pretty well. They let me plug in. I felt a little sheepish asking or something, but I was like, well, my fridge was completely dead. My battery was 0% this morning. Sorry if you see me looking around a bit. It's because I'm dispersed camping tonight, and we're very close to Yellowstone National Park, which I think means the likelihood for large wildlife and apex predators is increased. So, I mean, Emmy's with me. I'm sure she would bark, and I've got my bear spray on me and stuff, but still a little bit like higher alert than usual. But where did I leave off? Oh, yeah, they let me plug in, and then it was adjoined and maybe co-owned. Oh, God, sorry. By a barbecue place, and so I had a pastry and had a coffee and was hanging out, and it was like maybe like 11 a.m. and you could smell the smoker from the barbecue place, and it smelled amazing. Since it seemed like they were owned by the same people, I figured like they wouldn't mind if I left the truck plugged in. So I ended up sticking around for lunch and had some super good brisket and met some cool people. And I think I got the battery up from 0 to like 23%. I was there for like probably 3 hours, honestly. After lunch, I decided to keep moving, and we only went like 10 or 15 more minutes down the road, and there was a rest stop and the rest area, and it looked like the parking spaces were such that I could pull in and have the cab in the shade and the back in the sun for me to set up the solar panels. Sorry, I feel like I'm a broken record with this whole battery charging thing right now, but it's like really like the main obstacle to me just having a good time camping and exploring. And it's like a big thing that I need to figure out. But yeah, I hung out at the rest area for like another couple hours and did a little bit of computer work and like social media stuff. And it was really pleasant. It was right on the river. I mean, obviously, it was like right off the highway. So that wasn't awesome, but the view was great and people were friendly, and it was very pleasant in the shade. And I got like another 10%. So I'm at like in the low 30s now on my battery. So I'm at least good for the night. And I had planned to, we came down Highway 89 and I planned to like loop around up 540, I think it is, to some dispersed camping that had been recommended to me. And the road was closed. Saw like one road closed sign and I was like, really? So I drove a ways and then it was actually closed after, I don't know, 3 or 4 miles. So I had to backtrack, and it was like hot and windy, and I was like, I don't know. Like I didn't want to go back from where I had come from. Definitely didn't want. I mean, I'm sure that campground that I stayed at is full now. It's Friday. I also didn't want to stay there again and pay $20 for it. But going further south, basically like makes it such that it makes more sense for me to actually go through Yellowstone, which I had not wanted to do. But I'm probably going to want to buy a Parks Pass anyway, and I haven't been to Yellowstone for a very long time. Anyway, so I found a spot on iOverlander that seemed promising, and I decided to just go for it, and it's really nice. I'm kind of surprised there's no one here. It's like a good mix of shade and sun, and there's like a fire ring, and it's pretty flat. So yeah, we'll stay here tonight, and then depending on how things go with the battery tomorrow. Like, really would love to just have a chill day. Well, as per usual, today was a pretty equal mix of great and sucky. But I found somewhere to camp for tonight, and it's only $10. And I just opened this bottle of orange wine that's nice and cold. And I'm making the best of it. This morning at camp was lovely. I filmed a kitchen tour of the rig for you guys, which I plan to edit and put out before this vlog. So you should have seen that already. And if you haven't, I'll put a link somewhere or whatever. You can go watch it if you're interested. And then I drove into town. It was like noon, and I decided to do laundry because I was all out of clean underwear. Found a cute little laundromat. I think it was like maybe $7.50 for 2 loads. Like $7 to $10, which wasn't bad. And they had showers for $5, and I'm kind of regretting not taking one. They had a sign that said service animals only, and I don't like to fake service animals because that is like a problem for people who have service animals that need them. Emmy is an ESA, but that doesn't grant us access to just like any old space. Apparently the attendant was only there until 5, so I had half of mine to go back there after 5 and sneak her in with me and take a shower. If there had been shade for me to park in out front, I would have probably left her in the car with the windows cracked, but it was really hot and there was no shade. So, well, there was shade to sit in, but not to park in. So when I went in to do the laundry, I just tied her up to the bench outside with some water, and she was fine. But I didn't want to leave her unattended for, 10 or 15 minutes. Anyway, I'm glad I got laundry done. The barbecue place that I went to yesterday had a little shack, like kind of food truck kind of situation that was right next to the laundromat. So I tried a pulled pork sandwich from them for lunch, which was also great. And so that was all fine and good and pleasant. And then after that, I drove down to a park to see about filling up my water. There was a little thing on Isla Overlander that said there was clean water there, and there was. So I did fill up my water, which was great. And I was hoping there would be an outlet there, but there was not really one that was accessible or close enough for me to like park next to and plug in. So I popped up my solar panel for a little while, but then it was just like charging so slow, and I was like, screw this. And then I drove around for like probably an hour, and it's a very small town, Gardiner, looking for somewhere to plug in, and no luck. And then I finally found this gas station outside of town and just bought a cold drink to cool down and like get my wits about me. And then I saw that they had exterior outlets in the back, or like on the side of the building. So I parked there and plugged in and was like, heck yeah, this is great. Hopefully they'll just let me hang out here. I can just recharge, get a good battery life going. And then I had even found an open campsite down in Yellowstone and was going to book it. I was like, cool, great, awesome. And I was only there for like 5 minutes maybe, and then they came out and told me that I couldn't do that. And I kind of was like, really, please? And the guy was like, sorry, not my rules, can't do it. And so I was like, all right, my bad, sorry. And then, unplugged and put my cord away and stuff. And then had a total meltdown and started crying. Just a hard time. I really, really got to get this power thing figured out because it is my number one obstacle to this being nice and good. Anyway, it's also super hot and super windy, as you can tell. That wasn't fun. And I thought about trying to get a site at an RV park, but all the ones here are like, all the RVs are huge, and it's like $100 a night, and it's just a whole scene, And it's like, at that point, I would rather just get a hotel room. But then all the hotels down here are like kind of meh and like $300 a night because it's so close to Yellowstone. And I like seriously considered getting a hotel in Bozeman and just like booking it however 2 hours or whatever to Bozeman. And then I was like, it's cool, calm down, you got this. So anyway, there's this Forest Service campsite that had a couple sites open. It's right next to the highway, which you can probably hear. And it's really windy. But it was only $10. And I'm not getting a whole lot of life out of it, but there is enough sun for me to pop up my panels again and like try. Battery's at 13% right now. So hopefully that will get me through the night. Oh yeah, and then after I broke down crying and left the gas station, I forgot to close my rear like tire rack thing, and so that was like swinging free on the highway for a minute until I noticed it. Fortunately, I saw it before it became a problem and like pulled over and fixed it, but just kind of rough. Anyway, I was psyched on the idea of going into Yellowstone for whatever reason. But I can't remember if I said this earlier, but I've been listening to this podcast called The Wide Open that's about the Environmental Species Act and like conservation in the Yellowstone area, and just got me kind of excited about the idea of going through there. Who knows? It's possible that I could go there tomorrow. Maybe I could just throw some ice in the fridge. I could have done that today. I don't know why I didn't think of it. Good morning. I guess you can see from the video angle how uneven my parking spot was last night. I did not film a lot yesterday because after I went into town and had my shower and found a place to plug in my battery and put ice in the cooler, I pretty much just hung out at that little town park all day and waited for the battery to charge and got some work done. So I edited my very first YouTube video, which I also uploaded, which is scary and exciting. And I put out another newsletter for everybody and did some other sort of like admin stuff. And yeah, I got the battery up to 97%. It has ice in there, so that's where I'll be helping control the power usage, but now it's at 93. So I'm hoping I can get a couple more days. Hopefully within that time get a hold of the shop that I'm hoping will wire my battery into my alternator. And then I can stop talking about battery issues and you guys can not be sick of hearing about it anymore. Anyway, I decided to book a paid campsite in Yellowstone. There was one open and it was perfectly situated for me to like dip in at Gardiner or the north entrance and then dip out at the west entrance so I don't have to backtrack. And it was fine. I mean, it's a developed campground. It got really smoky in here because of everybody's campfires. Like there's probably 200 individual campfires in this small little valley. And now it's 8 generator hours are from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. And so the person next to me is running their generator. It's like not very peaceful. But it was nice to just like know where I was going to sleep. It allowed me to stay at that park charging up until like 6 p.m. and drive through the park at dusk, which was really beautiful. I'm going to spend some time exploring the park a little bit more this morning, and then I'll go find some dispersed camping tonight. And hopefully I can just post. Well, I guess I can't post up for a couple days because I need to buy groceries. Oh, the logistics of road life. Anyway, I have officially made it an entire week as of today, which is exciting and something that I feel like I want to celebrate. And the fact that I figured out laundry and showering and all that like feels like a win. And yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for being here and watching. It means a lot to me. It also means a lot to me when you like and comment and subscribe and help me build this channel into something that will get recommended to other people that want to live this lifestyle or are just even like interested and want to live vicariously.